All right, I'm live again Thursday afternoon. Sorry if anyone missed me last week. I was at a conference. I'm just going to check to make sure that my live is working. You all can hear me. Yeah, good. So some of you might have missed me last week. Some of you probably didn't even notice that I wasn't on. But I was at a fantastic conference. It was the National Stay-at-Home Dad Con, and I was asked to be a guest speaker there for one of their groups. I did talk about anger, why we're angry, how it should manifest, and what we can do to overcome it. It went super well. If anybody wants that copy once I'm done with it, let me know, and I'm trying to either put on another live where it's just with that topic, or I'm thinking perhaps a webinar for some Q&A and to get some engagement. So type below if you're interested. Just type in anger and or a flame, and I will make sure to reach out to you and get your details. But today I'm going to go over a topic that, something that I'm really passionate about, which is growth, right? Personal growth, development, growth in a business or in your career or as a parent or as a spouse or as a person. And I believe that growth kind of operates the same way in any opportunity that we have it to try it out. Now, oftentimes growth is uncomfortable, right? Growing pains, very well common side effect of elongating bones. Um, it makes you nervous. A lot of things with growth is fear. You can get scared about trying something new. There's the unknown. A lot of people shirk away from growth because it's not worth it to them. The ultimate result isn't worth the pain and discomfort that's going to get put into it to get to that level. Um, but I believe that that's the human condition. That is something that as human beings we are driven. Our driven purpose is to grow, to evolve, and then to pass that learning on to the next generation. But oftentimes we get to a certain point in the growth profile and we tap out. And a lot of times, and I just kind of want to talk about how it looks. Today is about how does growth look. A lot of us have always kind of been duped by the standard growth is like a stock market. It has its ups and downs and it has a steadily upwards migration. And you're oftentimes told that it's not a straight line. But with all these highs and lows, you eventually grow. I disagree with that. And after talking about this with one of my peer coaches, she enlightened me on what growth really looks like. And I want to share that with you guys right now because it was brilliant. And I really don't want to keep it a secret from the masses. Most of us, so I'm going to say this is not how growth looks. Okay. I believe how growth looks. Well, I'm going to start with how it feels. Before we get to how it looks, I'm going to go to how it feels. Most of us who try something feels like we're chasing our tails. We're just going around in circles. Now, about 2 years ago during COVID, I started playing guitar. My wife bought a guitar. She wanted to learn how to play acoustic. It was sitting around. I picked it up, and I've always wanted to play guitar since I was like 10 years old. And I never did it. I never jumped out, never bought it what I wanted. I always wanted to play electric guitar, rock out to a little AC/DC. Um, and now there was a guitar in my house, and I started picking up and playing it. Well, at first I wasn't really serious about it, and I can't say that I'm very serious about it right now. But after 2 years, I get to see that growth cycle. So there are periods of learning, there was periods of plateau, there was periods of regression, and then there was another level, and then it kept going and going, so on and so forth. So the more time I put into it, the more calluses I got on my fingers, I would reach to the next level. But there was always this sense of pain, which was the learning. So at the beginning, playing guitar, it was fingers on the strings, right? Building up calluses, feeling those impressions, the pain of stretching your fingers out, reaching across the fretboard. And then it was practicing and trying to get two, three, four things working together at the same time. And then there was a plateau. So I'd play the same chord progression three, four times. That would get really boring. I feel like I just been here, and then I would try to stretch to the next chord that was difficult, and I felt the same thing over and over again. The same has happened with me through my growth cycle with my business, or as a coach, or through my career, or through my marriage, or parenting is another good one where you think that you're getting there, and then a condition changes, and you're right back to square one of I don't know what I'm doing. So you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm working, 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 putting all this effort, and then I end up back at I don't know what I'm doing. But what was introduced to me, and I think this is the coolest visual representation of what growth is growth is neither a circle nor this jagged stock market line. It's actually a spiral. It's a coil. And this really resonates with the engineer in me and the idea of a coil, of a spring, of something that has tortuosity. And for those of you who don't know, I put the definition below. Tortuosity is basically defined as a bend or a curve. And in engineering, tortuosity is also synonymous with tortuous, right? Like torture. And that really resonates with me for growth. Growth can be torture. And it's just like coiling a spring. It takes energy, it takes patience. You're winding things around, you're feeling resistance, right? But as you're moving up and building that coil, you do get to the same point you were before, which is why from the top down, it looks like a circle. You've been here before. So where are the places that you intersect? Well, here's a place that you intersect. Here's a place that you intersect. Here's a place that you intersect. But the person you are at this point, when you're coming up the curve, is a different person because you've gone through this entire loop of learning and you need to get back to that initial starting point before you can level up. And that actually gave me some optimism. The idea that if I feel like I'm treading or I'm spinning my wheels or I'm in the exact same spot I was at the beginning of the journey, that I'm actually ready to move on. I'm ready for the next level. And this next level is, again, it's painful, it's tortuous. You're twisting to get back to the same spot before you up level. And this is what growth looks like. It looks like a spiral. So for everybody out there who's tired of the up and down, tired of chasing their tail, just remember, growth is a spiral. Growth is a coil. You're following a tortuous path, but it's moving up, and it's slow, and it's fast, and it's filled with resistance. But just like a coil, just like a spring, if you compress it enough, the end result's going to happen much faster, and you're going to spring forward. And I think that's really a great way to think about it. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on it. Um, it's one of my favorite ways of looking at growth and the pain of growth and the tortuousness of growth. So drop a comment below if you agree or disagree. If you want to have more chats on this, I'd love to take it offline. I could probably talk about this forever. And I hope that you guys all have a great week and a great October start to the month. Um, and I need some Halloween costume ideas. So if anybody has any, good kid appropriate dad costumes for a trunk or treat, I would really appreciate them. All right, take care everyone and have a great weekend.